Hello and welcome to another community update. I'm Angela Dept. Today, as our community continues to reopen after the COVID-19 pandemic, we have local leadership that will be sharing important information that you need to know about that process. Now, I want to let you know that today's broadcast will be aired here again today on WSOT TV at 5:30 p.m. and then again at 10:30 p.m. and additionally on Sunday, June the 7th at 10 a.m. and again at 5:30 p.m. Now, I also want to say a great big thank you to our local media, WBAT and the Chronicle Tribune and the News Herald, for helping us share this information with you. Joining us first will be Bob Jackson, Grant County EMA Director. Welcome, Bob.
Thank you, Angela. Good afternoon, Grant County. We'll give you an update from the Emergency Management Operations Center located here in downtown Marion. As of today, actually yesterday's numbers, we are at 278 cases that have been confirmed in Grant County with 23 deaths. In the last 14-day period, we have had a couple of spikes, which there again, as we've talked, we fully expect those. Few, if any, of those cases have resulted in anyone being hospitalized, so that is a good trend also that we're watching. We'll continue to monitor new cases within Grant County as we partner with the commissioners, the health department, and other communities within Grant County as they start making preparations and plans for summer events. So we're looking forward to some things opening up and some restrictions being relaxed a little bit as we move forward, and we'll just continue to work with all the appropriate people on that. Lastly, and I just have a short report this week. The weather, as of today, the National Weather Service in northern Indiana has issued basically a prediction for severe storms this afternoon. So we're monitoring that, and it is sometime between 2 and 8 p.m. They're saying is the time that we could expect severe storms within Grant County. So we will keep an eye on that. As we're on that topic, just as a reminder, severe thunderstorm watch just means that it is time to prepare. As of just a few minutes ago when I left the office, there were no watches issued. We would expect probably this afternoon that will be issued. And if things warrant, severe thunderstorms warnings will be issued. When a warning is issued, that's when we know that severe weather is imminent, and that truly is a time to start seeking shelter at that point. So a weather radio, if you have those, it should be tuned to the Marion station, which is WXM 98 in Marion, Indiana. Or you can also get them alerts on your cell phone. You can go to Nixle, that is NIXLE, Nixle.com. You can sign up for that, or you can also go to grantcounty.net. All the information to sign up for those reports are there, and those are local, and we keep the citizens informed via your cell phone if you would like that, and or email. All right, that's all I have for today. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you. Thank you for having us again. It's always good to be with you here in the studios, and I would like to address our citizens this afternoon. I want to say thank you, first of all, for your participation in the primary election process. We do want to extend our congratulations to those who succeeded during the primary, and thank all of those who allowed their names to be on the ballot to be a part of this continuing experience that we call the United States of America. I think it is important for us to mention this afternoon the terrible loss of life that happened in Minnesota. Grant County government extends its sincere condolences to the Floyd family and to the members of the St. Paul, Minneapolis community at large. Our local demonstrators, they have done their best to call attention to the injustice that has been ongoing. Our people have been orderly, respectful of life and property, and we want to continue to affirm their rights to assemble and exercise free speech. With that said, we also look forward to healing and formation of a strong community based on our diversity and our strengths, making Grant County a place to live and to work for generations to come. With regard to the update on COVID, as I mentioned last week, coronavirus is very much still in our community. It has not gone away, and while we are sensing some relief with regard to restrictions and backing off, I want to emphasize we must not let our guard down with regard to this virus situation. As much as we have learned about the pandemic, we are still trying to figure out its transmission and how it goes from person to person. But we are needing to utilize the health precautions to deal with everyday life. That would be, of course, our physical distancing, our personal protection equipment, masks, gloves if necessary, and then the personal hygiene regimens. Please use thoughtful caution as you are dealing with your family, with your friends, your neighbors, and your coworkers. If you feel even a twinge of being ill, we ask you to stay at home, protect your family, protect your coworkers, and immediately contact your health care provider so that they can give you direction on proper things to be doing and even tests if necessary. And along with that, as an effort to be transparent, an employee of the Grant County government has tested positive for coronavirus. Isolation has begun. Tracing protocols are ongoing to ensure any potential exposure is monitored and effectively treated if necessary. Certain segments of Grant County employees will be tested to provide baseline data for our health department and to make sure that everyone is doing all right. Again, I want to emphasize that early detection is a key to positive treatment and quick recovery. Grant County government encourages all citizens, at a minimum, to get a newly available antibody test to evaluate your resilience or susceptibility to the virus. Information on that test can be found at www.labcorp.com/antibody-testing. I myself have already signed up for that. It does require a $10 online purchase, but you do not need a doctor's prescription to have that test formed. Once you do that, you can schedule your appointment to go into LabCorp, have a blood draw, and that's all you have to do. So we want to encourage the community to follow through with that. Again, that's labcorp.com/antibody-testing. Right now, we are in the third phase of the Back on Track Indiana, and county offices, city offices are open, but the buildings are closed to the public. With regard to the county, if you need to work with a county department, you can call and schedule appointments. All the departments and elected officials are aware that the governor has required that, as well as a local resolution by the Grant County commissioners. So you can schedule an appointment, go in with protocol. We'll check your temperature. We'll have you clean your hands. We'll also make sure that you have a mask before you go to do that work in the appropriate department. But be aware that that is available. Now, when we talk about Back on Track Phase 4, that begins June the 14th. That's the next segment in advancing our Hoosier economy. And I just want to briefly remind you of the requirements again. Hoosiers 65 and older and those known to be high-risk health concerns should adhere to the social distancing guidelines and remain cautious. And if you don't need to go out, continue to stay at home and allow others to get some of those things for you. You need groceries, those type of things. Also, continuing remote work from home is allowed, depending upon your manufacturer, your business, your boss's direction for the future. Face coverings are always recommended at this time. As we mentioned, we don't know about transmission. We do know that if you're wearing a mask, that helps not only as you're breathing in, but as you're breathing out. 40% at least of people who test positive for coronavirus are asymptomatic. They don't cough. They aren't having pain in their lungs. They aren't running a fever. And so we're being protective of one another and ourselves as we use that. I would emphasize again that coronavirus is often spread among groups that are in contained areas, that are not using social distancing any longer than a 10-minute time frame in a small area. More people have the opportunity to be exposed, and we need to be cautious. So this limit of 250 people or more during this time frame, again, has to do with weddings, parties, other events where large groups of people are coming together. So be prepared to cover up, give some distance, and honor and prefer one another over those situations. Assisted living facilities, nursing homes will remain closed up through the most of June, and then that'll be reevaluated. So what's open right now? State government buildings and the county government, city government will be opening up on June 5th as directed by Back on Track. Professional buildings may continue to work at full capacity as we get into the middle of June. Stores and dining rooms will be going to a 75% capacity. We're moving back toward what we know was normal. We just are doing it in a slow opening phase. Bars and nightclubs will be 50% capacity by the middle of June, as well as cultural and entertainment areas. Movie theaters will also be opening at 50% capacity. Just a thought from the book of Isaiah, chapter 26. You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you. During all this time, government has told us things, CDC has told us things, health departments have told us things. We don't always get it right, but there's one that we can trust in that always gets it right. And as we are focused on God as we get through all of this trial, we will be able to put our cares, our burdens, and eventually we'll be able to rejoice together because God has taken us through this. As always, I encourage you to be safe, be strong, and be steady. Lord bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bardsley. And again, I would like to give you that website for the antibody testing. That is labcorps.com/antibody-testing. So labcorps.com, and I think he said it was $10 if you'd like to have that done. Joining us next will be Dr. Brad Lindsay, Superintendent of Marion Community Schools. Welcome, Dr. Lindsay.
Thank you. Angela's summer is here, and I love it. How about you?
Oh, I do too. Graduation went great last weekend.
Boy, it sure did. I'm so proud of our class of 2.0 graduates, and I hope that you're able to view the video celebration of graduation. It was just so awesome to see our students in action. You still can get on our school website and to view that anytime. That will be there for our students forever. Also, I was so glad to see the Giant Spotlight. So Giants across the globe were sending messages of hope and love and song to our seniors. And it's just that love that unites. Angela, when I watched our students in action, one thing that just struck me, one is how diverse our students are and how much love they have for one another, how much love they have for their school and their community. And I just love that. Our students are prepared because in Marion, we are a diverse community. In Marion Community Schools, we are diverse, and our diversity is our strength. Right. Our love is our strength. Mm-hmm. And so our students learn to be culturally sensitive and culturally responsive and learn how to really understand one another and to be understood so that we can love one another. And we know that love precedes healing. And Angela, don't we need healing right now in our community, in our world? And then healing precedes peace. You heard Commissioner Bardsley just talk about peace. Yes. And then peace precedes positive productivity. And that's what we're all about. I know that's what this community is about, and that sure is what Marion Community Schools are about. I would say this. We're excited that with our seniors, our class officers representing all of our schools, if we knew that if the would open back up in July 1, campuses will be back open for activities, and we're so excited. But on July 12th, we are planning now a more formal commencement in our stadium, invitation only. More details will be forthcoming.
And that's for the graduating seniors?
That's for the graduating seniors, the class of 20, on July 12th now. We were talking about homecoming weekend,
yes.
but since things are open in July, our senior groups, and that's who we're here for, want to do that in July. Our pandemic and safety and proactive response continues. We now have over 430 meals served to our communities. Angela, we'll do that through Wednesday, June 24th. Wednesday, June 24th will be our last day of the summer. And then we're back open for business on August 5. And so we'll pick back up our school breakfasts, lunch on our first day of school, August 5.
Over 430,000 meals, so you're probably going to be close to the 500.
We'll be over 500,000 by June 24. We're so excited to be able to serve the people of this community, and we've had so much help doing so because our community loves one another. On our websites right now for our families, you can access learning apps, home learning activities, so please stay connected the month of June to our websites and to our principals. But then next week, we've got some exciting information as we talk about July. We know that we've had 2 years now that we have one-to-one device capabilities. And so next week, we're excited to announce plans for how we can issue those devices to families for our July reopening, July summer school, and July jumpstart in this upcoming school year. Because Marion Community Schools, we're about meeting the needs and preferences of our students and families and our community. And so we're so excited about that. More information coming next week.
So the one-to-one device, meaning every student's going to have an iPad or a laptop of some sort?
Yes, we already have those. And so our administrative team, Scott Hooksman, Chief Technology Officer, is our point there. It's also our Chief Academic Officer and our school board. And so our school board has discussed it publicly in board meetings. And so we're looking at next week for some really exciting news, how we will even better meet the needs and preferences of our families during this pandemic and beyond.
That's great. I'm excited to find out what that'll be next week.
It will be exciting. July is going to be just a great time of coming back together and doing some things. We're going to be able to meet the needs of people on campus, but we're also going to be able to meet the needs of our families at home. And so we're so excited about that.
All right.
Angela, as I just finished today, I just want to repeat, we've got great students and great families. Angela, I just turned 57 years old, and I'm excited to be alive and living in this community. But Angela, I only know what it feels like to be a white man living in America. I only know what it feels like to be a white man living in the community of Marion. I don't know what it feels like to be a black man. We're getting ready to hear from one of the great black men, Dr. David Moore. But what I do know enough is this. There has been social injustices and inequities throughout the history of America and, quite frankly, the world. And it's really not okay. And I don't know how other people think or feel. Only they do. I do want to be loved enough to be sensitive and responsive, just like I see from our students. If you get online again and see our students in action, you hear them speak. Our students show us the way, what that love and unity and cultural sensitivity and responsibility is all about. How love leads to healing, leads to peace, leads to productivity, leads to unity, united we stand. I love that. But I only know what it feels like to be a white man. So I know I want to be sensitive, and I want to respond. I want to learn. I want to learn so I can help and not hurt. I don't want to hurt. I want to help. And that's what the city, our community is all about. And I know that's what Marion Community Schools is all about. So I just encourage you, community, thank you for loving one another. And that love leads to healing, which leads to peace, which leads to productivity. Look, there's chaos across our country and globe through this pandemic and other. There's a response to social inequities and injustices. But what we want to do is we want to love one another and show the way of unity, love, healing, peace, and productivity. We live in a great community. Thank you for loving one another and being great neighbors. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you, Dr. Lindsay. Thank you for helping to lead that cause of putting some more love in our community. And joining us next, I am happy to invite Dr. David Moore from the Grant County Health Department. Welcome, Dr. Moore.
Thank you, Angie, and to the others that are here, and to those of you here in Marion. It's an opportunity to be here again, and this wonderful opportunity to talk to our great community. We came together initially to talk about the disaster that was hitting our nation, our state, and our county. But we, in the midst of that, have been faced with another one. And gross injustice that was there. And this is not to exclude or excuse looting and other sorts of bad behavior. We saw on the streets in Minneapolis a gross injustice. That's not that job. And somebody who had a gun and who had authority used that to treat somebody in a way that is inconsistent with our American values and our American way. The flag that I love, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. What happened on that ground was not justice for all and was not fair. Many communities have expressed their concern explosively and sometimes destructively. The leadership and the people in Marion have made and have so far effectively said, this is not right, and we want to stand up and say, let's make a change for this. And they've done it peacefully and effectively. This Friday, there's going to be a prayer vigil at the city building at 9 o'clock in the evening, a candlelight vigil where we're going to come together and pray for peace, and to pray in a way to do that in a socially responsible way. We're different from one another, and some of those differences are our ideology, our religion. Some of them are our skin. I can change my ideology. I can change my religion. I can't change the color of my skin. And we can talk about and we can focus on the 10, 15, 20% of us that are different. Or we can find a way to look at that 80% where we are alike, where we share. And maybe if we can focus on where do we share values, where are we alike, where can we do things together, that we can begin the healing of our community, of our county, of our state, and of our nation. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice, so that all people have an opportunity and a right to do that, that all people have that right to begin to do that. And so we want to encourage those who come, and remember that what we're in the middle of is a medical emergency, a pandemic where a virus hit our body and was devastating. And even as we go forward, we still have that. As we talk about how can we come together in prayer and in peace, we still have to remember there's a virus there, and the virus is killing people. We're out here where we're not as densely populated. The virus can be just as deadly here as it can be in other areas. We've lost almost 30 people that may be here if it were not for this virus in this community, and lots of young people who've been ill. Medical advances is helping, but there's still things that are going on, still a medical condition. So those of you who choose to come on Friday, and I hope that we do get a chance to see you there, to pray together to pray together for peace and for healing, and that we do it in a way that's socially responsible, like Dr. Lindsay says, that we start with love and say, with God's love, can we heal, and can we help to heal this community? And together, Marion, we can do better. We can focus on what we have in common, where we share values, where we share things, and see, can we build outward from there, rather than focusing on the things where we differ and where we might be off away and fight over that sort of thing. So I encourage you to do that. We talked about this medical condition, and our commissioner talked about that there is someone, as we started to open up, and we knew this was going to happen. We said this, when we open up, there are going to be more infections, there are going to be more people coming together, and in our government system, there's been someone there. He self-identified that he had tested. We've talked up the way we're going to have people in self-isolation and self-quarantine from that. It's going to be my particular approach to it as a health officer that we test and we test and we test. When this started in February and even in March, there was a gross shortage of testing supplies. LabCorp, the one that Mark referred to earlier, has promised us that there will be testing supplies for us, so that while the hospital has a way of doing it, the health department has found supplies and we can be tested, and we could know, did this exposure that you had lead to infection? And if it led to infection, how do we move forward to make sure that we protect our community as we go forward from that? So we have Optum that's operating out of the YMCA till the end of the month, and we appreciate YMCA making themselves available for us. As they open up, we're going to need to find new ways to do that, and we're going to look to have it so that if you need to be tested, if you need to know your status, that the health department can help you in doing that. And a part of knowing that is the antibody test, knowing how your body has reacted. I don't want to pretend that since February we have a perfect test and a perfect way of understanding everything else. We're going to make decisions, we're going to make ways, we're going to make mistakes, and we're going to be transparent and be as honest as you can. And these antibody tests are a tool to help us to understand, and not something that tells us exactly what's going on. As we try to be more effective, responsible to you, with prayer, with working together, we're going to get through this.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. Appreciate you and your diligent work. Also joining us today will be Kylie Jackson from the Marion Grant County Chamber of Commerce. I'm going to invite Kylie on, and she is going to have some guests with us that we'll get to visit with here in just a moment. But first, Kylie, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad that you've come back today. I can't wait to meet the guests that you've brought with. I understand you've got a couple of real exciting things that are happening.
Absolutely.
You've got a hashtag Big Thanks Small Biz campaign.
Yeah.
And you've got a local PPE marketplace that's just launching.
Absolutely.
Share with us a little bit first about the Big Thanks to our local small business.
Sure. So the Big Thanks Small Biz is a program that we put together with several other organizations, the Community Foundation, the United Way, the Growth Council, and then the Gas City and Upland Chambers. And the idea was we wanted to support local businesses who might be struggling during this time, but then also give a boost, a morale boost to our frontline workers. So folks can go on the United Way's website and make a donation, and then we are taking that money that's raised and buying gift cards from local businesses in $10 increments and delivering those to our frontline workers.
That's wonderful. So not only are you helping our local economy,
yeah, it's twofold.
Frontline workers are being benefited. I love that.
So to date, we've bought gift cards, and usually they're in like $250 increments. So at 35 plus different businesses locally, we've given gift cards to over 800 frontline employees, and that represents over $8,000 donated from our local community. So a very cool program, and we're just really thankful and encourage anyone that's still ongoing. So if you want to make a donation to that, you can go to the United Way's website and find that.
Definitely. And United Way website is just
United. You
put you on the spot.
You put me on the spot.
We'll find out. We'll let you know. We'll find out.
It's also all on social media, so you can find it on any of those organizations' social medias.
Let's switch over real quick to the local PPE marketplace. That's something that's new that just launched. And there's a lot of businesses out there that are looking to try to figure out how to, and churches, we're trying to figure out how to secure supplies. Yeah. Is this something that's going to help us?
Sure. So the local PPE marketplace is a partnership that we've done with the Growth Council. And so basically what we did is we brainstormed on all of the local businesses that are creating PPE. So whether that's face masks or hand sanitizer or face shields, gowns, we have all of those things being created here locally. And so we wanted to give businesses and organizations options to buy those things locally. So it's really simple. All we've done is we've just collected all of that information and we've put it on a page on our website. So if you're interested in buying local PPE, you can just go there. We gave quantity breaks and price breaks, and then kind of what they're selling, and then the contact person they need to get in touch with.
That is great.
And so if you don't find what you need on there, we've also linked to Indiana's PPE marketplace, the Manufacturing Council's marketplace, things like that. And then we've got some other things in the works where if maybe paying for PPE is an issue, we're working on possibly being able to fund some of that for our businesses and nonprofits. So be on the lookout for that too.
We definitely want. I'm glad that has been put together. Yeah. That is something, if we can support local, then I'm all about that.
Absolutely.
And hey, everybody's going to need the PPE anyway, right?
Yep.
So that might as well buy local.
Exactly.
Now, let me switch over because you brought some guests in.
Yeah.
And as we talk local, we are going to get to meet some of our local businesses. Some chamber members, some maybe just about to become chamber members. But you and I had talked prior to the show, and I think that we decided that focus with so many people having put off their elective medical procedures during the shutdown. And as our medical providers are starting to open back up in our community, people are wondering, what do we expect when we travel to some of our different, dentists and doctors' offices?
Yep.
So you brought a guest with you in studio today.
Yeah.
Who do we have?
We have Rondell Nelson. She is the office manager at Bruner Dental.
Love it, Rondell. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Well, I'm doing great. I'm glad that you're here. And I would love for you to share with us a little bit about, for folks who don't know, Bruner Dental Center. Where are you located and who makes up Bruner Dental Center?
I work at Bruner Dental Center, and we're in the north part of Marion. It's kind of in between Hart Hotel and the optometry there. There's a little side street, and if you just turn there, we have 3 doctors and 2 new ones coming. I work for Dr. Sneed, Dr. Root, and Dr. Tinsley, and I've been there, gosh, it'll be 35 years in July.
Wow.
Going into that 35th year, yes.
That's wonderful. A lot of smiling faces.
Yeah, it's a great place. Yes, it is.
Yes. Now, I know, every business has been affected by COVID-19, and as everything is starting to reopen and people are wanting to feel safe and secure, when they set foot, you're taking appointments now, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're taking appointments. So if I'm coming to seek dental care, what can I expect? Am I going to need to wear a face mask when I come?
As far as the face mask, I would say do whatever makes you feel comfortable. Everyone's a little bit different. Once you get in there, I have some patients who come in with the face mask. I have some who don't want to wear it because obviously you're going to have to take it off. But when you come into us, we will have masks on. Those are things that we didn't used to do in the front, but now we do it for safety measures for not only you, but for all of us here. We've implemented some plexiglass to keep protection there. We've done most of the PPE we already had in place. We are just cleaning a little bit more often. We're washing our hands a lot more often, and we're just trying to keep you safe and comfortable while you're here at the office.
So while I'm at the office, as far as the waiting room goes, that's something I know a lot of people are a little unsure about. Is the waiting room open, or are you asking us just to stay in our vehicles?
We've had it both ways, but I want you to feel comfortable once again. So if you want to stay in your car, sometimes patients will call us and ask us, and we say whatever makes you feel comfortable. We have made it so that not very many are in the waiting room. We try to get you to the back as quickly as possible. So we've done the social distancing by spacing out the chairs correctly. And normally right now we aren't having you wait there very long at all. So we're trying our best.
That's great. I'm curious, you've got a lot of information I know that people probably need to know. Is there anything exciting or new that's happening at Bruner Dental Center?
Well, we did implement a purifier into the office once all of this came in. Basically, the best way to tell you is that you put it into the ductwork and it goes out and grabs all those viruses and bacteria and smoke and bad things and kind of pulls it out and filters it out. So that's one of the most important things we've done, I think, on top of all the other safety measures that we're taking with PPE and just disinfecting and trying to keep everyone safe and comfortable.
That's outstanding. So family friendly. It's a place that people can arrive and leave smiling and have good peace of mind. Bruner Dental Center is a good place to be.
I think so too.
Rondell, thank you so much
for asking me.
It's been a pleasure to have you here with we're going to talk a little bit about Marion Pediatrics. They're a large facility. We have multiple doctors there on site, and I understand that they are right now presently taking all newborns. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's an exciting thing. And, I think it's important, Kylie, as we, and I know we're working through the technical with the phone, as we continue to have this community update continue on through the month of June, we're going to have a chance to meet other chamber businesses. So we might be talking about folks in the medical field now, but we have some other industries that we're going to be able to feature here.
Absolutely.
On the community update. And so, folks, we want to make sure that you get a chance to kind of see from the people here in our community that there are great efforts being taken to deal with the pandemic and to also prepare as the economy reopens. Some things are going to be done a little bit differently, and we want to let you know how those things are being done a little bit differently so you can have peace of mind. And Kylie, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for being Rondell from Bruner Dental Center.
Absolutely. I just want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to feature these local businesses and show off what they're doing to make our community safe.
And as we conclude today's broadcast, I would like to let you know that it will be re-aired here today at 5:30 p.m. and at 10:30 p.m. on WSOT TV, and then again on Sunday, June the 7th at 10 a.m. and again at 5:30 p.m. I would also like to say a great big thank you to our local media, WBAT, the News Herald, the Chronicle Tribune, Layla Price-Bodkin at the City of Marion for helping to spread this information throughout our community. And most of all, I want to say thank you for watching. And that concludes today's broadcast. We now return to our regularly scheduled programming. Thank you.